Good afternoon and welcome to the third episode of Boost News, brought to you live from Griffith University. I'm your host Dominique Labelle, and today a wonderful team joins me. On my right we have Jess and Georgia, and on my left we have Anjali and Leonie. It's lovely to have you with us today, ladies, and I hope you're all feeling refreshed after the university spring break.
Thanks, Dominique.
And I hear we've got some celebrations. It was your birthday over the holidays?
Yes, it was. It was my 21st, and all of my lovely girlfriends from Sydney surprised me and flew up, and we had a really, really nice weekend. We actually hired one of those ridiculous Hummer things and we spent a night out on the town and we just had a ball. It was really great.
Oh, happy
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to get straight into some discussions in a moment. But first, let's have a look at the top 5 news stories of the week. Over to you, Jess.
Thanks, Dominique. It's official. Legendary Australian spin bowler Shane Warne and model Liz Hurley are engaged. The Spin King got down on one knee and popped the question during a private dinner at the exclusive hotel in Scotland on Friday night. The Australian Wallabies football team has defeated Russia for a monster win of 68-22 on Saturday. But the victory didn't come without sacrifice, with winger Drew Mitchell's World Cup campaign over after he tore a hamstring. A young Gold Coast woman who died while on a Kentucky tour in Rome last week did not die from a drug overdose as initially thought. It is reported that doctors believe deep vein thrombosis was the most likely cause, though the official test results are released in about 60 days. A 1-year-old infant was killed when the family's 4-wheel drive backed over her on a property in New Katherine in the Northern Territory on Saturday morning. Police are preparing a report for the coroner as 3 young children have been killed in similar circumstances in 2 states over the past fortnight. 4 people were trapped when an ultralight plane crashed and lodged in a Ferris wheel near Taree on Saturday. The 53-year-old pilot, his 32-year-old passenger, along with a 9- and 13-year-old youth, all walked away uninjured. In a revolutionary announcement over the past week, the Saudi king has granted Saudi women the right to vote. The announcement came as the king delivered an annual speech before his advisory assembly and is widely being seen as a giant leap forward for the equality of Saudi women. Here's a short video.
A historic first in Saudi Arabia. Women will be allowed to vote. King Abdullah made the announcement on Sunday.
We refuse to marginalize the role of women in every aspect of Saudi society within religious boundaries.
Now, Jess, as a woman, what do you think about Saudi women having the right to vote when they can't even drive, travel, work, or have a medical operation without the authorization of a male relative?
I understand that there's a lot of cultural difference behind this entire thing. And it has to be treated delicately, but for the king to announce this is a huge leap forward, and hopefully I'm sure there are a lot of women in Saudi Arabia who are really happy about this movement. But in saying that, the king has actually said this before in his re-election about 5 years ago, and he fell through with the idea. So,
and there were some pretty dire consequences, weren't there?
Yeah, there were. In actual fact, there was one woman who somehow didn't hear the announcement that it was revoked, and she was arrested trying to vote. And hopefully it will all go smoother this time, and hopefully there will be a movement forward for this.
And what do you think, ladies?
Yeah, well, I agree with Jess. It's interesting to see what will actually happen. I do hope that the women are successful in gaining the right to vote, but I do look forward to 20only to see how it all plans out. Yeah, no, I am.
That's good. And how about you, Leonie?
Yeah, well, I think at the moment the women are now not only allowed to vote, but they can also be representative in the government. So that's a huge, giant leap for the women of Saudi Arabia. And they're actually becoming quite liberal about their rights and the suppression that's happening in these Arab countries. And a woman just recently was arrested after she drove her car and she filmed it and put it on YouTube, and she actually went to jail for 10 years. So to sacrifice 10 years of your life to show the Western world what's happening is a really big deal.
Yeah, that just goes to show that obviously women are wanting some change over there, and hopefully this is that first step.
I think it is a really delicate issue to discuss with. I mean, it's hard for us to say, because we're not in their shoes, we don't understand their culture, that it is hard for us to have an opinion on such a political decision.
Absolutely. It's definitely an issue that marks a step towards equality. We'll be right back with more of your favourite news stories after this short break. You're watching Boost News. Welcome back. You're watching Boost News, and it's fantastic to be back with you after our short spring break. What amazing things did you get up to on the holidays, Georgia?
Oh, well, I actually went to Bali just for the weekend. I just popped over there with one of my girlfriends and we just had a few surfs and stuff like that. But I did yesterday go and see the new Lion King in 3D, which was just awesome. I absolutely loved it.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So have they remade the original, or is it just 3D?
No, it's the normal movie, the original, but they've just made it into 3D. So I was just really curious to see what they would do with such a movie. And
so what did you and your friends think?
Well, I actually took my little cousin, so I was probably cheering the most. I loved it.
Spoiler alert for anyone that's watching and you haven't seen the original.
Sorry.
Oh, well, it's interesting that you say that, because I find that recently, since the success of Avatar in Hollywood, there's been a range of 3D films actually coming out. The Lion King's a perfect example of one that's been modified, but then there's other ones like Alice in Wonderland that we all know about, and in the coming months we'll be having a look at more of the Titanic and the Great Gatsby. I mean, do we really want this to happen? What do you think, ladies?
I'm all for 3D movies. Yeah, I love it. I think it's great. I think it's a good way to reinvent old classics and to share it with our kids in a new and exciting way. And it's exciting to go back to watch a movie when it's 3D, because it's a whole new adventure.
Yeah, I agree. So I think you were mentioning about Dirty Dancing.
Oh, I know. I'm so upset about this. I mean, I'm all for 3D movies. I think The Lion King is great. 3D movies, you become more involved in it. I love them. But remakes, not a fan. They're redoing Dirty Dancing and Patrick Swayze. Come on, you can't redo Patrick Swayze. And you know they've just brought out Footloose, and from the shorts that I have seen, it's very sexual and you know all of that. But you know when you watch the original Dirty Dancing, it's all very hidden. Everything's it's left to the imagination.
Yeah.
Exactly, it's implied and. I think that will be lost in a remake. But also there are other movies like Rocky Horror. They're redoing that, and I just don't think they'll capture the flair.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. Well, you're watching Boost News, and we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to the spring edition of Boost News. Now, you may have noticed we've brightened up the Boost News set this week, but that's not the only fresh and exciting change happening here. It seems Facebook's creator Mark Zuckerberg is soon to be introducing a new feature to the site, the Facebook Timeline. Its biggest challenge, tell the story of your life in a single page. Check this out.
800 million friends plus one big competitor. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg wants to keep a fresh face forward, so you'll soon notice more changes to the profile you log on to every day.
It's the heart of your Facebook experience, completely rethought from the ground up.
Timeline will let you create a chronological account of your posts, photos, videos, and other media on the site, making your page look more like a blog. New apps will share and sync what you're doing, what you're watching, what you're reading, what you're playing, and what you're listening to with your friends in one place.
There's the general browser that we've been used to since the early 1990s, and inside of it there's Facebook, and Facebook basically wants to get rid of everything else.
A revamp of the site's news feeds just prior to Thursday's announcement didn't generate too many likes.
It'd be like coming back to your apartment and someone's rearranged your bedroom without asking you. Even if they put in nicer stuff, you're still going to be a little freaked out.
So the timeline is going to encourage you to continue posting updates about your current life while also uploading content predating your diary entries. Your Facebook's going to be turned into the diary of your life from your birth to your death. But by publishing every single bit of our lives, don't you feel that Facebook is going a bit too far in renewing privacy concerns? What do you think, ladies?
Absolutely, I think it is uber creepy. I mean, people are going to start Facebook pages for their babies and uploading on a daily basis. First steps, first word. Nah, I think it's creepy.
So you can do that anyways.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to have a Facebook in order to do that.
Yeah, but if it's going to be like a blog style thing, people are sadly going to do that, and I think it's really creepy. You can just hop onto someone's Facebook and know every single thing about their life.
I'll do it. No, I'm all for it. Yeah. Mark Zuckerberg, the world's sexiest nerd, can do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah, I'm all for Facebook. And I mean, if you put the stuff up there, then you've put the stuff up there. You've only got yourself to blame.
Well, just like George has said before, some of the Facebook pages that are made are actually made by people's parents. Like, they don't even have a choice. And then, you know, there are like 12-year-olds who are going out making Facebook pages, and that potentially could, you know, damage their reputation getting a career later on. You know, a lot of employers these days want background checks and all that sort of thing, and social networking is the first thing that they actually go and look at.
Yeah, but they can't get in if you have it on private.
No, they can.
No,
they can.
No,
if it's a background check, they most certainly can, and Facebook actually keeps
No, because
everything.
the privacy conditions enable you to block
No,
your Facebook to people who aren't your friends.
The biggest thing that is an issue is that once you put things on Facebook, even if you have deleted it, Facebook owns it. And if somebody looks onto, like, you know, for example, you know, if you were working for a government job or something, they can actually find all of that information that you wrote when you were 12 years old, or your parents wrote for you. And it could damage that potential career that you want to get into.
Creepy.
It is. I don't agree with it.
So all 12-year-olds in 20 years' time won't have any jobs then?
Well, maybe not. You never know. But I mean, that's going a bit far. But Google Plus, on the other hand, like Google Plus was mentioned in that short film we saw. They've actually got privacy settings that once you...
the circles.
Yeah, it's like circles, and then once you delete your information, it is gone. Google Plus don't own it. And honestly, I think that maybe people will start to move towards that.
That might appeal to people.
Absolutely, yeah.
No, I'm on Facebook.
Yeah. Die hard.
Oh, well, it kind of makes you nostalgic for a time before social outlets, when communication was just pure and simple and we didn't have to worry about those issues. Thank you so much to our team. Great to have you on the show this week. And that's it from us at Boost News. Don't forget to find us on Facebook and tell us what you think. And if you enjoy the show, feel free to share the YouTube link with your friends via Facebook and Twitter. Be sure to catch us again, same time next week.